Aircraft Selection Justification by Zeke and Vincent. So, to start, a little background. On May 1st, 1960, Francis Gary Powers was conducting a routine surveillance operation when he was shot down inside of the Soviet Union. He was captured, convicted, tortured, and interrogated for 2 years. Although we were able to get Gary back to the United States, this incident was still unacceptable. Although the CIA has a new plane that is lighter and faster, we are still missing the main reason why this was all a massive problem. They captured the pilot. Even if we use the A-12, we still risk losing another pilot that might not be as lucky. These were the potential alternatives that were selected for a surveillance mission or operation. These are all UAS, and we would not need to worry about losing another pilot. Project Aquiline is an experimental UAS that was developed by the CIA's Applied Physics Division that has been in development right after the incident. Project Aquiline not only meets all the requirements for camera equipment for information gathering, but also can deploy special payloads such as microphones, seismic sensors, and other devices for electronic warfare. The biggest selling point of Project Aquiline is the flight time of 30 to 100 days non-stop. It does this due to the engine using nuclear energy instead of regular fuel injection. Another selling point is its shape of a bird and its reduced radar cross-section. This is done to make it seem not like a UAS, but just as a regular bird. Even if someone uses radar to identify Project Aquiline, it will only look like a regular bird, and they will most likely not waste a bullet, let alone an anti-aircraft missile, for a quote-unquote bird. During testing at Area 51, the aircraft following Aquiline had such a hard time following it, they painted the top of Project Aquiline a bright orange color. Even after the paint job, the pilot still had a hard time finding the look-alike bird. The next alternative is D-21, aka the Dart, developed by Lockheed. This UAS would be an extension to their prior proven design of the A-12. The Dart would be either deployed from a B-52 Stratofortress or a M21, which is a modified A-12. Unlike Project Aquiline, this has an operational history being used in Vietnam and China. However, this is the most expensive at $2.5 to $3 million. Next is the AQM-35. This UAS was used mainly by the Air Force as a supersonic surface-to-air missile, with surveillance being an added feature. Although surveillance was not its main job, it was still able to fulfill that additional purpose. Although it has no operational history, it still has the potential of being viable in the UAS field. Ryan Model 147 Lightning Bug was the most used drone for this time for surveillance. It was mostly operated in Vietnam, China, North and South Korea. However, there are other variants that can be used for electronic warfare. Many other variants are used for other specialized purposes, but this one is a fairly cheap UAS compared to other drones on this list other than Project Aquiline at $50,000. Project Aquiline is probably the best drone for surveillance. It is very cheap at $50,000 per unit. It can be built in-house by the CIA, so it is easier to keep classified, and due to the special nuclear engine, it can spend more time in air, unlike other UAS that is needed to be refueled a lot more frequently. Finally, the shape makes this bird hide in plain sight and can look like a bird on a radar. and to a person's eye. In conclusion, although Project Aquiline is an experimental drone, it has been tested at Area 51 with more than successful results and can improvise upon even further by making the aircraft smaller or adding IR or thermal cameras or even having live feedback instead of waiting on the images to process. In other words, Project Aquiline already fulfills all the criteria for a surveillance aircraft, but needs improved upon even more.